All right, guys, this is Docm, and I'm here on another amazing server tour with the guys of the ProtoTech server, with Ray, and yeah.
but Cat isn't online.
They're really friendly bunch on here. Don't worry, they make you wash their dirty laundry and throw poison at you, so come visit. It's amazing.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if you don't know ProtoTech, it's a highly technical server. I'm pretty sure a bunch of you viewers maybe know Ray. He does a lot of videos on YouTube as well, you know, technical stuff, but also the others. Artron does videos, and plenty of the members. And we got the crew here. Is that all of your members? It's a lot of people, man.
No.
All right.
Also, some are alt accounts,
Okay, yeah.
like the spectators.
Let's go. So today we want to look at the Shulker Shucker, right?
Yeah, the Shulker Shell Shucker is a machine that I showed as April Fool's video, and a lot of people thought it was fake, but what it is one of my ultimate entity generators that we customized to work for shulkers. Ultimately, what this machine will do is will take in shulkers, and it will cause the game to kill off one of the shulkers that are being duplicated when they go through an entrance end portal. Because as entities go through the entrance end portal, there's actually 2 copies of them in the world at one point in time in the game. And we can take advantage of this, and we can kill off one of those, and then we can send the other one over into end dimension, and we can keep that one alive.
Yeah, so it's the same principle, right? Using end portals to dupe entities. It's also used for example, zombie duping, you know, or the donkey duping, right? That's the same principle with the end portal.
Yeah, it's all based on like the ultimate entity generator that I showed video. A lot of different variations of it, like you can use it for donkeys or zombies, or you can even use it for like sponges, like I made a sponge farm using this technique. But this one we got set up on the server is for shulkers, and ultimately we want to have a lot of shulker boxes, but we don't want to do general item duping.
Yeah.
Mostly because it opens the door to people duplicating anything. Instead, we like to try to build ingenious contraptions to find workarounds to this.
Where do you have your first shulker entity from? You need one, right? Otherwise you can't dupe them.
Yeah, so what we did early on is we went into the end dimension and we grabbed a whole bunch of shulkers off of End City and we brought them over to the Nether dimension and we stored them. And we also reduced their health down so they only have 1 health. This means that when we do send them over here and we do kill them, the one game tick where there is 2 of them in the world, we'll instantly be able to kill them quite easily. We just did this with a poison potion. And then this way they will be duplicated, but they are currently stored over in another dimension.
All right. And in the end, how did you transport them? Using minecarts or other means to bring him over? Slime block.
Xerox, do you want to explain?
Well, bringing them over is pretty interesting because you see this portal here that gets broken the first time a shulker comes through.
I think Docn was asking, how did you get them from the End City?
Yeah.
Oh, from the End City. Oh, that was pretty fun too. We put them in minecarts, and then we built up a flying machine to fly us close to the main end island, and then we just stored them there for a while.
Oh yeah, we put them through. Did you say we put them through a gateway portal?
Oh yeah, we also put them through a gateway portal. Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, we flew part way, and then we
didn't really need to put them through the gateway portal though.
When they freshly came out, I did some experiments with them, and I found a super nice way to transport them is just simply using a flying machine. They will teleport with it all the time.
Oh, that's really funny.
That works really well, actually. But yeah. All right, so you store them somewhere.
Yeah, so they're stored over another dimension.
Yes. Okay. Next step then is?
So the next step is that I guess we can turn the farm on and we can kind of explain it as the farm is going on. The farm should be on. And the first shulker should come through and it should, yeah, there you see him. So now...
For me, they're invisible.
You don't see the shulkers.
No.
Really?
The shulkers are not in the minecarts. Look at the left.
Look at the Nether Portal.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
Also, As you can see, the Nether Portal is broken, and we actually use the portal cache so that they will still arrive in this position, even though the portal
heck?
isn't there anymore.
What is happening? This is magic.
Yeah. The portal is actually remembering for some seconds where to put in entities that ran through. And they won't
No
check
way.
if there is actually a portal on the other side. So it will just put them through here even if the portal is already gone.
And
Wow.
is that cached? Is that every 30 seconds?
Uh,
0x.
Oh yeah, I don't know exactly how long it caches the value, but
I think it's 30
but
seconds.
as long as they keep coming through, the game doesn't forget about it. That's the important part.
Yeah, so as long as entity comes through every 30 seconds, it will remember that cache and it'll keep sending them to the same location. And so that's where the first shulker that came through actually came through the actual Nether portal, and then all the ones afterwards, we broke the portal, and all the rest are coming through without it. Now, there's good reason that we did it this way. Do you want to explain that, 0x? Because of lag?
Yeah, we just need to push. Oh, it was a lag too. Yeah, but
2 reasons.
but first we need to push them into the end portal, and so in order to use this piston there has to be no portal there.
yes,
But
I was
there's
wondering
another
how
advantage
you're
of
gonna
that
get them in there
because
like that.
the portals are pretty laggy,
Yeah.
and as long as they're using the portal cache, they're not so laggy. So
Yeah.
It
if we
was
would,
a really
I
big
didn't see
difference.
much spikes with all the entities and stuff going through. Yeah.
And with all the players online.
Yeah.
And we're also
good.
loading 3 dimensions and quite a few different areas with chunk loading as well.
Yeah.
But there was a large difference between having it come in this way, where they would go through a cache of the portal. Otherwise, we did try the Nether portal method, like turning Nether portals on and off and sending them through, and it was extremely like, I mean, it wasn't even worth trying it. So we were looking for new methods, and we figured out this would work.
All right, and you could run this like infinitely long, right? Forever, like
yes, this is a infinite farm.
So it works like that. So the first shulkers you have stored, they come through from where does the first shulker go through? From where does he come and where does he end
So we got
up?
this portal linked up with one over in another dimension, and they're coordinate specific. And then the shulker first one will spawn here and be inside the Nether portal. Then he gets pushed through. Then immediately after we destroy the portal, and this way we use the cache to send all the rest of them through. And all the rest are sent through by using a synchronizing method. Do you want to explain the synchronizing method, 0x?
You mean when they get picked up by the minecarts again? Or
there's a bunch of different ones. Why don't we just explain what's here? Why don't you explain this minecarts here?
So the minecarts are making an extra loop here.
You want to explain where they come from? They come from the Nether portal, but they come the opposite direction.
We can just get to the Nether.
I
don't know exactly what you mean.
I'll explain it. So you've seen minecarts coming out of here, coming out of this portal, and they were sent in from the other side, going the opposite direction, and therefore the momentum sent them this way, and then they get onto this line. And we reuse these minecarts again, so we send them all the way to the backside here, and we send them into the end dimension. And this is because every time we send a mob through a portal, you know that mobs that are riding each other will not go through a portal, so such as a shulker riding a minecart will not be able to go through another portal, nor an end portal. Because of this, we have to separate them for a short moment. So we separate them, we send the shulkers through, then we bring the minecarts around. What did you ask?
And then you use a special trick to keep use the cache to keep the portal active, although it's deactivated because of the reason. You need to get the entity out of the minecart, and you cannot push it into it if there's a portal in the way. So you need to use some trickery that the portal is actually not there, but it is still there for the game. That's pretty much where we're at, right?
Yes, and then there's another whole complicated level with this whole synchronizing of shulkers. So the minecarts that come over and were reused, they're pushing back into the end dimension. Those minecarts, we have one game tick to pick up a shulker that appears at the entrance end portal or at the obsidian platform. And after that one game tick, the shulker will be sent to the end dimensions, but using the overworld coordinates. So because of this, this was a pretty crazy discovery made by myself and 0x. So do you want to explain exactly how we do this?
You explained it pretty well already, because that's all there is to it. We just send in through the shulker and the minecart at the exact same game tick,
Yeah.
and that enables the minecart to pick up the shulker on the end platform again.
Yes, pretty
If we
much.
just send it one game tick later or earlier, then the shulker will already be gone, or the minecart
Yeah.
won't be able to pick it up.
Because that's the trickery is as only two entities exist exactly for one game tick, right? That's it. Or how long does two entities exist?
The
So
problem here
this
with
is
the end
this
portal is different.
this is completely different problem. This is only to do
We
with
can show
shulkers.
you, because we
Yeah,
just
we can.
lost this shulker. We can show
Yeah.
him where it landed.
All
Yeah,
right.
let's go to.
Does he have an elytra? Yeah.
Yes.
We're done
Let's
with
go
this,
to the
right?
end.
We can
Yeah.
always come back and look at this some more, because we gotta explain
Yeah.
the TNT part too.
Yeah.
You want to explain
Okay.
TNT part now, or do you want to look at the end dimension?
Yeah, the TNT part, of course.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Another
damage-
thing we discovered is,
yeah, go ahead.
I thought I should explain it.
Yeah.
So yeah, in order to kill the shulkers and get the item duped, we found out that it's necessary for the thing, or for the entity that kills the shulker, to exist longer than the shulker itself. So it is in the front of some internal list from the
Yeah.
server. So it gets so the TNT basically gets processed first.
Yeah.
And then it kills the shulker, and then the shulker goes through the portal.
Yeah.
If we do it the other way around, the shulker goes through the portal and then the TNT explodes, then we won't have any effect.
Yeah.
So in
So
order
it's
to
gotta
do this,
be
we
timed
send in the
perfectly.
minecart here first,
Yeah.
and detect it, and send the shulker a little bit later, and that gives us exactly the time required for the TNT to fall down and explode.
Yeah. So it's very, very timing sensitive, obviously, and everything needs to happen at the right tick, pretty much.
Not even the right
Oh, yeah.
tick. It's way more lower than one tick, because
Yeah.
like he's saying, the TNT has to be ignited in this dimension before
Yeah.
the shulkers can ever exist in this dimension. Otherwise, the
Yeah.
duplication won't occur. And this is
Yeah.
something when I first showed my device, my device worked, but I don't understand why it worked. And this is
Yeah.
why it worked. And that's why my device worked, because entities go through the Nether Portal, then get moved into this overworld dimension, and then they get destroyed by a entity. Now, the entity I used in my video was lingering potions, but we later discovered that you can do this with even damaging potions. And like in our situation here, we're using a infinite damaging source, which is a TNT duplicator at the very top.
Yeah. Nice. All right. So that's part of the mechanic over here. So pretty much what happens is, to sum it up for the viewers, your entities arrive, you kick them through the portal and explode them with TNT at the same time, or shortly before they go through, and that causes the duping, to make it really short. And of course, touching the end portal. The end portal is very important for duping anything.
Yes.
Of course. And so now pretty much we need to see what's on the other side. How do you store the shulkers, the original shulkers, right? Yeah.
Yeah, let's go ahead and follow the same path as the shulkers do. So the shulkers get pushed into the end portal as well as their minecart, and they go through here.
Yeah.
Now they end up on the Obsidian platform just as we do. But the problem is the shulkers only end up here for one game tick.
Yeah.
This is just a weird bug to do with shulkers, and instead, after that one game tick, if they don't find a spot to teleport to in this area, they will then get set to the coordinates of the overworld where they came in from. So the entrance end portal coordinates, but applied to the end dimension. So we actually have a separate location just in case one accidentally end up this way. We have a separate safety device way out there that will pick them up. Actually, I think it's over by the Dragon XP farm. But
we should check that out, because we just lost a shulker because someone bumped a minecart. So
yeah, we can
let's
check it out
go
later.
there and check out if it's.
Let's not do that now, though.
So
Okay.
here is where the minecarts happen, right? So
Yes.
the shulker, where would the shulker end up? Around right here?
So as you've seen over in the overworld, the minecarts were getting shoved into the entrance end portal, but they were shoved in from one direction. So what we have is their momentum. We use their momentum to clear this obsidian platform. So we don't really need to have anything inside this area because, as you guys probably know, it deletes all the blocks inside of here.
Yeah, so you come this way, right?
Yep, so he's about this wide level. You want to go ahead, Xerax?
And then you literally jump through here, grab him, and then land on here. So you don't really jump, but you could imagine it like that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they actually appear within this block, and then the minecart still has the momentum to go on top of this rail.
Yeah.
And also the momentum also picks them up too. Yeah. The momentum of the minecart picks them up in midair.
Yeah. And then you go from here and you bring him this way and somewhere to your exit.
Yeah. And also underneath here we have a hopper minecart that picks up all the shulkers. When they die off, most likely the items will end up somewhere near the entrance end portal, or they will end up
over here?
Getting teleported over here. So ultimately they end up on the obsidian platform, and we have a device to pick them up.
The shulker got here. Oh gosh. Why didn't it go through the safety device? Why did it end up here?
The minecart probably never came. Well, maybe because I loaded this area or something.
It should have teleported.
That chest's on me.
You can't hit him. He's weak. One hit kill, right?
Don't worry, he's not there. He's not there.
Oh.
He's gone. Just a random head.
Can we encase him so we can pick him up later?
So down here, the additional entity will exist and it will perish here. Like, how does it die? And from the TNT explosion.
Yeah, TNT, and then the items drop over in the overworld, but then it gets sent to
dies
the
in
dimension.
the overworld, but the items get pushed through the portal.
Exactly.
And they end up on this obsidian platform.
They end on the platform most likely, or okay. Sweet. Where do you have a storage system for the
we picked them up.
Shells as well?
We picked them all up, but we just cleared it out. You can see how many we got so far just from running it while you were here. So if you look in the very bottom chest, that's where we end up at. So just while we were sitting there chatting, we got that many shulker shells.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't, like, how much did we run it on the, maybe tops, not even 5 minutes or so. So it's producing quite a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How many did you figure out? Like, what do you say, like 24 hours we can collect 80 million items worth of storage? Something like that?
Nice. And
I don't remember that run, but it was a lot.
Yeah.
But we were calculating how many items we could store with the shulker box.
You never showed this publicly before, right?
No.
Yet. You can't build this thing that took years of research and go through 3 dimensions and is super complex and timing sensitive because it'll break your game because everybody will build it.
Yeah.
Every 10-year-old kid on any public server will build this, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just whatever. I'm not gonna.
On most servers there is some moderator, and as soon as there's one moderator, the other players can't actually build at spawn because there's a spawn protection.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't think a lot of people go into all the go through all the thought that it would have to occur just for something like this to really be possible.
Man. Everybody is fascinated, of course, by technical Minecraft, but there's only a handful of people who really go hardcore with it. I mean,
and also, especially on our servers, you don't get like a second chance with PvP. You don't get backups or anything. If you mess up, it's gone.
Yeah. All right. So and then you just have, how do you unload it here? Just letting the minecart go over there regularly. Yeah, there's not so many items at the minecart at any given time. So
what is the increments? What's the timing on how fast they go through?
It looked really fast.
I think it's one shulker every 14 game ticks.
Yeah, that's really fast.
It was a lot faster than I would ever thought we would get to go.
Yeah. So to get it to work, do you need to have certain dimensions loaded with chunk loaders or anything like that? Or does it work just like this?
Currently we're using 3 accounts just to avoid any accidental unloading from players. Like when a player loads chunks of area that's even being loaded by hopper loaders, then they happen to leave the area, they will unload those chunks. even just for a split second. It uses the technique that I showed with loading other dimensions, such as loading the end dimension as well as another dimension without a player.
Exactly.
And that kind of like sparked a huge thing with the technical community, like, oh, what? You can load the end dimension without a player? How is this possible?
Yeah, exactly. That obviously was a huge step. And yeah, they made a lot of contraptions that followed up possible. It's always like that. Somebody discovers a little bit, then other people take that idea, run with it, make it to something else, and eventually the community has a new design. And there's very rare occasions where one single person single-handedly pretty much, revolutionized the game, but it happened for sure. I mean, there were some inventions that literally were like, okay, this is a whole new level now. But it was more in the olden days. Now I think things are so complicated. Yeah, test, right, exactly.
Yeah, it takes like a group of people to do anything nowadays.
Yeah, it's very complex. I also can feel that like back in the days, when me as a YouTuber dude, I was also making really new discoveries and could figure out new ideas and techniques. But now I'm not really a part of a super technical group. I'm friends with many. And I personally couldn't invent anything new anymore alone. I feel it's impossible. Code digging is very important, of course, right? And yeah, having all this knowledge of all these small little things. I mean, there's plenty of super nice technical channels not many people know about, and the videos don't get much attention. But yeah, a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff out there. All right, is there anything else we need to explain about this?
Oh yeah.
This setup. All right.
This setup, or I mean, I guess we can continue down the rails.
Yeah.
So, so now we want to take the shulkers from when they spawn, which is the Obsidian platform, over to one of the entrance end portals, or the exit end portals. And on the server, we have 2 exit end portals because we have one from 1.8. We're gonna have to mine our way through this.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then the new one when the dragon was changed, right?
Yeah. So to get the new one, we did the trick where well, for us, our old exit end portal was far enough out so that the game did not look for it. So we didn't have to remove any bedrock blocks on it. So we actually have the entire thing over there. And then this is the new one. And we went ahead and we lowered it by using that trick I showed where you can mine out below and then create the portal once you hop into a new 1.9 world. And
yeah, I remember that video.
And we hear, do you want to explain this part, 0x?
Yeah, there's a reason why we mined away the bedrock down there. If you come over here to the ice road, you can see the activator rails down there. So at the very end are some activator rails under the portal.
Yeah.
And they will eject the shulker from the minecart, so that again the shulker and the minecart go through the portal at the exact same game tick. So the shulker can get picked up on the other side again.
How did you remove the blocks right in the middle and not the others?
I think the blocks right in the middle were removed by dropping dragon eggs and chunks.
We did dragon eggs for all of them except for I think 2 underneath. We had to use pistons, headless pistons.
Yeah. All right. So then, okay, they come through here. And then what do you do? Okay, the minecart and the shulker go through. Yeah.
And then they would end up at the world spawn point. So we can head through here.
Okay. And by the way, now the shulkers we are talking now about are already duped entities. So just so you understand, it's not like they constantly have to go around and catch new. I think that's very important to mention. It's not like they go around and catch new shulkers and then dupe them, and you then kill them. That would not be a profit, obviously. You start the machine up once, and once it's running, you cycle through the entities you actually duped and kill the other entity that coexisted pretty much at the same time. It's like a Schrödinger's cat shulker box, pretty much.
Yeah, you can't actually get 2 shulkers from that, so you can't really dupe the shulkers. You can just have this one shulker die before the game removes it.
Yeah.
from the
So I think that
dimension it
I
was
think, but
previously in.
hopefully, people realize. But yeah, I think they did. I just want to make sure they end
Okay.
up here, right? Yeah.
So they end up at the world
At the
spawn
world
point, and
spawn?
this is our platform. And if you press like F3 and G, you can see that this is 4 chunks centered on the center. And world spawn
Yeah.
point is not centered depending on the center of the chunk, but instead it is underneath of one of these carpets. I'm not sure which one it is. Is it this one here?
Yeah.
I believe it's this one. And what we have underneath is some you picked up the carpet there, John. So we have some leaves underneath of the world spawn point. This allows entities that are coming from the world spawn point to not be able to get placed on top of leaves, but they'll get placed at the very bottom of this. They'll get placed pretty much on the first solid block that's underneath.
All right. So if you had a solid block and would stack up here, the entity would be placed on top of the stack, right? If you stack up,
if you just had
with
like
the
a
leaves.
so if we just hop down, there's one layer or one platform that we can go underneath.
They get teleported to this block here exactly.
Yeah.
And both the shulkers and the minecarts, and they then immediately get sent over to this Nether Portal.
Yeah, and that's the momentum you guys have to pick up more, right? Here from on top.
So yeah, the rail is an activator rail.
Yeah.
So it kicks them off of their minecart.
Yeah.
Because they do get picked up by the minecart again once they go through because the minecart's moving. And then we want to kick them off again. And it just happens to be in this weird setup that we got set up here. The only place that they will sit once they get kicked off the minecart is directly inside of the Nether Portal. And when they are directly inside the portal, obviously they're going to teleport. And the minecart's obviously going to intersect with it and teleport as well.
Yeah.
And they get sent at the same time, so we can pick them up on the overworld.
A while ago, I don't know when version was that, when it was introduced that stuff actually keeps their momentum when going through portals. Few versions back. Then, okay, we want to keep on following here, go through the portal.
Yeah, this will take us where the shulkers are, which isn't
exactly.
That isn't typically used by players, but you'll see exactly what happens. From here, we can actually turn the farm back on and watch it work again. I mean, any of these locations, we can turn the farm on if you want to actually see it working.
Yeah.
But the shulker will come through here with momentum, be picked up in the minecart, and be sent down the rail system.
Yeah. And they go this way then. All right. And we can follow, obviously, because it's spawn-proofed, or...
Yeah, we try to keep gas from destroying the rails.
Exactly. So, okay, then the shulker boxes or shulkers roll along here. Obviously, this has to be all chunk loaded then when they move in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're loading the Nether by player means.
Yeah. Okay, and then we fall down
Actually,
here. We don't fall, but the shulkers are in here in this tube, right? In the end stone tube. Yeah.
That's exactly where they are, and here down here is the clock, and there's Ray's second account in there.
Yeah, don't kill that account. That account has a stack of a lot of different unstackable items.
Oh yeah, you can see what he has in his offhand.
Yeah, 120 totems of Undying in my offhand.
Nice. It's frozen in time in an ice cube.
And I also have 64 wither skulls on my head, which you can
no longer do. This in my world, this random account that constantly is logged in and just stays in an ice cube.
Yeah, we can also have scoreboards that show stuff on the side.
Yeah.
So you can see he also has the maximum XP possible in Minecraft, which is the world record that I made. And you can see the number there, a lot of XPs.
Yeah,
that's integer limit right there.
It's a bit crazy.
So I don't want to die with all those XPs.
No, you shouldn't. Okay, so the shulkers end up in here, and those are also the ones you picked up from the end, right?
Yeah, so we're recycling the same one.
Yeah. Yes.
And this is where we store them because obviously the shulkers, they, as I shown in prior videos, they can hold up the mob cap. So we don't want them to hold up the mob cap in the overworld. So we just store them here in the nether dimension.
Yeah. Nice.
And then whenever we
got in there at the moment,
it was 32. I might have lost one now.
It was 34.
Oh, 34. Okay.
Now it should be 33, but we still have the one that's in the end dimension. It's sitting there.
Yeah. Can be easily, and those are all softened up ones, right? They're all one-shot kill pretty much, or really weak, half a heart or so.
Yeah, we put a poison potion on them, so they all the way down, and they don't regenerate their health.
Yeah. Sweet,
And then,
man.
Yeah, then we just got a system which we have to synchronize some more stuff up. Do you want to explain the synchronizing Xerox again?
More synchronizing?
Yes, it's really
More
important to synchronize.
synchronizing. I don't know what you mean with synchronizing.
Okay, remember
You
underneath
just
here? Remember underneath here
just-
there is a detector rail?
Oh yeah. Oh, that one. There's a detector rail here, and it basically triggers one of those stored minecarts up here to go through a portal. If you come up here, you can.
Yeah, there's a
can
pass
see-
dispenser somewhere right up there. Yes.
You can see this minecart dispenser.
Yeah.
They're just stored in there, and one gets sent in through the portal, and that triggers the TNT to get ignited on the other side.
Yeah.
So because of this, the TNT gets ignited before the shulker actually reaches the portal.
Yeah, that's when Ray says synchronizing is pretty much, synchronizing the entities going through portals and explosions to be at the exact right time. And yeah, they pretty much detect when a shulker comes through here, and then they, at the right moment, send a minecart from the stack to make everything synchronized. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, because the main problem is we need to have the TNT ignite before the shulker ever goes to the portal. So we can't use the shulker going to the portal to ignite the TNT in the overworld.
Exactly.
So what we do is we send the minecart in first.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you send a piece of code and information pretty much before the actual thing arrives. That's pretty much what it does.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fire TNT entities coming. That's pretty much it. So yeah, that's pretty smart actually, using that as a step in between. Yeah.
And we can look at the redstone on this piece as well.
What did that gas destroy, Jordy?
So here we got pretty much a similar thing that's going on as in the entrance end portal. We have the shulkers coming in. They're getting kicked off of this activator rail here. Yeah. And with this weird arrangement, I just happened to trial and error this and figured out this works. But what it'll do is cause him to be set inside of this portal, which allow him to teleport. And obviously we can't easily send in the minecart that he's on into here as well, mostly because it doesn't work. The rail has to be this direction for this to work. And because we also want the minecart that does go through to be facing the other direction so we can get the momentum to pick it up at the obsidian platform. So a lot of weird stuff going on. But so ultimately what we do, we use the backup minecarts to synchronize with it. So the shulker goes through at the same time as one of those go through, and that picks them up. Or I guess, no, that doesn't. Pick them up. No, that does the TNT.
The timing with those minecarts doesn't need to be that exactly. But so.
They do because of the TNT, right?
In case people wondering why there's buttons everywhere, does spawn to stop spawning.
Oh no, the buttons actually are very important.
What
did I do?
Stop teleporting to them.
Yeah, that stops teleporting. Exactly. I'm sorry. Yeah, that makes more sense.
I messed this up right now.
You just pressed another button you shouldn't press. Hey, those buttons are very important. Cluck opens the fence gate. Stack went through. Nice. GG. And is this your? Why do you have this rail here? By the way, that goes back up.
So
how minecarts?
The minecart hop across this hole here, which is strange, but they do.
So where do they come from?
So the shulker is on a minecart. It comes from this tunnel that's underneath your feet. Comes here.
And then the minecarts hop over there and go back up.
Yeah, they hop over top of this. Strangely enough.
Okay.
It's kind of needed too because if there's a block here, then the shulker will be set on this block, so we can't have a block there. So oddly that works. And then we recycle the minecarts to use them to synchronize again.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just like, okay, I get everything, but this rail, what does it? How do they get the minecart? So it's literally it's coming along here, and the minecart will jump this gap. Okay, maybe because this is facing this way, and it thinks, all right. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a directional aspect to it as well. There's also some really strange bugs to do with blocks behind portals. Do you want to explain that, 0x?
All right. So
sorry, I was just a little.
I can explain it. Pretty much, you see there's blocks behind this portal, and if you remove the blocks behind it, the portals, the minecarts that go through it, will end up in different locations. They'll actually end up going opposite directions. So you need blocks behind it. Otherwise, instead of going like west, they'll end up coming out going east. It's quite strange. And so it's really particular about where you place blocks. We had to be careful.
Yeah. So then people always ask, well, how do you find that out? How do you find it out? Well, part of it is obviously you notice a certain behavior of a certain block or whatever, or a certain when you play. But many of the things are trial and error. Like a configuration like that you have there with the rails, that's literally you need to try it and see if some configuration works. And if you're lucky, you find something that is odd. It still does what you want, like this thing. It's pretty amazing. I love it. That's so quirky. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and also code digging as well.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Code digging is a huge part of it these days.
So yeah, going back through this portal will take us back into the entrance end portal location.
Yeah. Okay, I'm a Shulker now.
I'm a Shulker now.
Okay, and here we are. Yeah.
You have to make sure not to walk back into the other portal again.
No, I ended up down here. I'm good.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So this time I'm not going to teleport into there. So, okay, we ended up down here now. Why do the Shulkers end up on top?
So,
and not down
because
here?
the top Nether portal gets disabled soon after the machine starts up, we have a secondary portal here just in case someone would accidentally start up the machine without remembering to first turn on the Nether portal above us.
Yeah.
This is like a safety device. And if another portal or if a Shulker would happen to come to us, another portal, then it would end up underneath of us, like this area that you see underneath of our feet. This is just a safety device, and they'll just sit on those blocks down there because that's the closest blocks that they can teleport to. And then we just pick them back up again with minecarts.
Pick them up again. Yeah, okay. Good. And then we're pretty much, that's the full loop. Full loop-de-loop. And then we're back here, and and they keep on cycling like that. How long does it take one Shulker to go through the whole loop?
We actually have to slow them down a little bit, so because all the entities have a cooldown for going through Nether portals, and we have to send them through like 2 Nether portals. So
is it 30
I think
seconds?
the portal cooldown is 15 seconds.
Oh, 15.
So
okay.
We need the Shulkers to cycle at least 30 seconds in this.
Yeah.
Actually, a little bit longer just to make sure they can teleport.
Yeah. That's really nice. I love it. That is a cool design, man. Obviously, it's not going to be something that I ever going to build in a single player world. Just too complex and probably a bit of overkill, but for servers, this is obviously really, really amazing.
And there's a lot of like mechanical aspects that you could easily implement, like moving mobs through portals with using the minecart trick to pick them up.
I already thought of a thing or two where I think it could really be useful. A trick or two I learned here already.
See you, Jan.
That's really neat. Yeah. Later. Nice. Yeah. So thanks for showing me that, guys. That was really, really, really fascinating.